Hi you guys. Okay, I'm coming to you live from my car for Wellness Wednesdays. So if you haven't noticed, we've been doing a live video every Wednesday for the month of July and August here. Just sharing some practical summer tips and different creative ways that you can use your oils. So I hope you guys have been enjoying it. You can scroll, if you've missed some of them, you can scroll down and find them. I can also potentially later this week organize some of them into the units for you guys. Today's topic I'm going to share with you is traveling with your oils and my favorite oils for travel. Okay, this is a question I get all the time because for some reason we're constantly, or it feels like it, we're on the road a lot. And it's something I really love to do actually, is travel and see the world, show my kids the world and things like that. So as you know, I live in Costa Rica. We actually just got back last night from Mexico. We were on a 10-day trip through Mexico, me and my 3 kids and my partner Andy. And so I wanted to share with you, while it was like super fresh, what are oils we love to use for traveling when we're kind of on the road. Okay, not specifically every day. Let me think. Well, to be honest, it's very similar to everyday use for us, okay? So specifically speaking, let's talk about traveling and essential oils, okay? First question I get a lot, can you bring oils on the airplane? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can, okay? Especially, depending on which country you're going to, it's like the 100 milliliter rule, right? 100 milliliters, you want to keep it under that, and you want to put it in a plastic bag. When we were traveling to Mexico, there's not many rules. There was no plastic bags and I didn't have like a bunch of 15 ml bottles or 10 ml rollers with me, but I do have my cute little disgusting carrying case that has a bunch of little oils in that I'm going to share with you guys. But they had no problem, okay? So bringing oils on an airplane is not a problem at all, okay? Even if you have like let's see, your hand sanitizer, this is also totally fine. 15 ml or 10 ml rollers, totally fine. Anything under 100 milliliters, right? Totally fine. Beadlets, something we carry, and I'll go through all of these in a sec here. Anything on an airplane is totally fine, as long as it's under 100 milliliters, and sometimes you have to put it in a bag. Okay, what other question do I get a lot? Well, I often get asked what oils I bring traveling with me, or what people, I've actually received a question this morning from Shea, what oils should she put in her, she called it her emergency kit. So here I am in my car. We've actually got, excuse this little guy here, but this is part of our first aid kit that we have in our car, and it has our little doTERRA keychain in there with some oils in it too. So she was asking me which oils I put in mine. So let me share some with you, okay? Ready? So these are, let me think, I have another oil case that I brought with me, like a roller case with a couple others in there, which I'll mention, but that was all the oils I brought, and I'm like, good job, right? Usually if we're going on a road trip and like space is not an issue, I bring full-size bottles. Anyone else guilty of this? I bring full-size bottles, and I bring like I have like a carrying case that holds 30 bottles. It's full pretty much every time. Okay, so this time I did pretty good, I think. And we used almost every single one of these, and when we did use them, we used pretty much all of it. Okay, so let's go through what they are. At the top here, I have 2 lavenders. Okay, you might be like, oh, 2 lavenders. I have one that's pure, and I have one that's in a little 2 ml roller. Okay, so if you have access to these, you can probably find them on Amazon. I lucked out and I got them from a guy in Vancouver area in BC. So if you're in Canada, I can actually put the link here. He's got his own Facebook group. It's called Rollers and Drams. I think it's a private group, but he sells these once in a while. They're great to have. They're super cute, but they're also super, super convenient because you can dilute your oils in here. So as probably some of you were following along on our stories, Sequoia fell yesterday, as they do. You tell them not to run 1,000,002 times, and they fall on the 1,000,003rd, right? And so this is something that I don't really want to use on her like scrape, right? I wouldn't want to like just roll it around there. I would rather use the roller for things like calming emotions or sleep. So that's kind of how I use the roller. I also get asked sometimes how to use oils with babies and kids. This is what I do. This is diluted, right? I probably have about 5 drops of lavender and the rest coconut oil. So I roll a little bit in my hand, and then I will rub my hands together and then put it through their hair, on the back of the neck, that sort of thing. It's so calming. And you guys know as well, like breastfeeding babies, when you're put it on your chest and then when you're feeding them, they're actually reaping those aromatic benefits as well in a really big way, okay? So that's why I have 2. For her scrape, she fell, I just tapped. If you don't know this is also a necessary trick to know. To get the oils out, you could be shaking the oils all day. Sometimes it does come out. It totally came out there. But you actually just tap on the back. Okay, comes out really easy like that. So I just took her elbow and tapped a few little taps on the back. And lavender, that's why I have a pure lavender and a roller lavender, okay? Because with the baby, I don't necessarily want to take the time to dilute it all the time. And yes, of course, I could put a drop on my hands, rub my hands and put it through the baby's hair, or like the kids for calming and things like that, but I prefer to have 2. Okay, next thing I have in my little carry case here, Zengest. Zengest is the digestive blend. You guys know Zengest, surprisingly, listen to this, when we were going to Mexico, I was like, okay, we can't drink the water there. Someone's gonna get sick, right? There's always someone who gets sick in Mexico. And guess what? You guys, we have not got sick. We didn't get a tummy ache at all in Mexico. That's crazy. Knock on wood. Like, I hope it's all good. So far, so good, right? And so Zengest is one that we didn't actually need to use. But this is, as you guys know, Zengest is one that really is so useful for anything to do with digestion. So if we ate something wrong, somebody ended up drinking the water, or someone put ice cubes that were contaminated in our drinks, whatever it is, right? A couple drops of Zengest right under the tongue. I literally put it right under the tongue, you guys, okay? So as we're going along here, I'd love if you put in the comments if you have any other uses for these oils, or if you also use these oils regularly, okay? So what you do is you just tap on the back, remember, under the tongue. Zengest. So good. It's kind of intense, but it's one that's so useful. So that's one that I would definitely have and do have in my carry case, okay? Another one here is peppermint. You guys know peppermint has a million uses. It's really good for energizing, for focus, for sore muscles, also for digestion, for head tension, cooling down the body. So peppermint is one I use a ton. Although, for myself personally, I am, as you guys know, I have Azalea. I'm a breastfeeding mama. So peppermint could reduce your milk supply. Okay, so just be mindful if you're also breastfeeding, just to limit your exposure to peppermint, specifically internal and topical use. Just limit your use. So yes, you could use it once a day. I do, and I don't find it causes big problems. What I like to do is I take a little dab, put it on my temples, don't get it in your eye, and I do like this too. And it's so nice and cooling and refreshing. Put it across the head. If you're hot, put it on the back of your neck. It's fantastic. Another little tip I have for you guys, this dirty old thing, hope these go away pretty soon. Take your mask. You can make a mask spray, but you can also just put a little dab on there, okay? So you can do that with any of your oils. Just be mindful of the citrus oils. If you're using a wild orange, because it makes you feel happy and summery, and then you go out into the sun and then you have wild orange on here because it rubbed up on your face, that could cause a chemical burn because it could react with the sun and make your skin more susceptible to a sunburn. Kind of scary, right? Sounds scary. It kind of is scary. So don't use citrus oils on your mask, okay? And just be aware or be mindful of the blends that do have citrus in them as well, okay? So Adaptive has wild orange, just so you know, okay? So there's a hot tip, because airports and things get a little bit yucky with the mask on for over hours, okay? So put your oils on your mask. Another one I have in here is On Guard. I have a pure oil here. If I feel like I'm getting potentially a little bit under the weather, or I feel like I've been in contact with someone who was sick, or I have a sore throat, or things are just like, just feeling a little off, I love to just put a couple drops of On Guard right in my mouth and drink a bunch of water. So that's like that's one you could also have in a roller, which I wish I did. Guess what, you guys? The one thing I lost on the trip was my On Guard roller. And if you know me, you know that I like live religiously by the On Guard blend. And so every night before we go to bed, I put On Guard on the backs and the feet of my children, all three of them, and myself and Andy. And I lost it the first night. So luckily I did bring a few 15 ml bottles. And so in my other container I was telling you about, I don't have it here, it's in the back. I had On Guard, I had the 15 ml On Guard because I use it so much. Andy at one point he got like a congestion going on in his lungs, probably from all the AC. And so I did a little bit of a protocol in his back, layering some oils. No, you guys probably want to hear what they are. It was oregano on the back, and then I put a little bit of coconut oil. Usually I would use frankincense, coconut oil, massage it in from the tailbone up to the base of the skull, massage it in little circles all the way up. Then I put oregano, and then I put tea tree, and then I put On Guard. I kind of do that like flume recipe, the frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and tea tree, except for leave out the lemon. And so I did that along his back, and then I put peppermint to kind of seal it in and drive it all in deeper. And the next day he woke up like, oh my God, I feel like 99% better. And he went from like feeling like 50% okay to feeling like 99% better the next day. So I am a firm believer in these oils, and I know a lot of you guys in here are as well. But so I did bring a few 15 ml bottles. Okay, I also brought a 15 ml of, what was it, copaiba, and I brought a 15 ml bottle of coconut oil. Okay, so I just used an old peppermint bottle, and I refilled it with coconut oil just to have that. Okay, if I would do it again, I would bring probably 2 or 3 of those, because I used all of that halfway through the trip as well. Because every night, instead of my On Guard roller that was so handy dandy, I actually had to take the On Guard oil, put a couple drops in my hand or along their spine, and then the coconut oil to rub it all in. So that wasn't very convenient at all. Okay, next up here, I have a couple perfume oils that I love, perfumes. One of them is ylang ylang and geranium. So you guys know, you've been around here long enough to know that perfume is not a good time. Anything that is synthetically, you know, fragrance or modified or those sorts of things, I don't want to take part in any of those. I don't want them on my body, or I don't want them around my kids. They're proven to be carcinogenic and to even, you know, alter or affect your endocrine system. So that's not a good time. So I love using our essential oils as perfumes, as natural deodorants, natural just fragrances, right? So this one I have ylang ylang and geranium. They're specifically just feminine, uplifting, heart-centered. They're great. So again, I only put around probably 5 to 8 drops in total of essential oil in this little 2 ml roller, and then I fill it up with coconut oil. So that's one I super love. The other perfume blend that I love is straight up patchouli. Okay, and so my partner Andy also really loves patchouli, so this is one that we both really love. And I mean, throw it on as many times as you want throughout the day. You reap the benefits aromatically. Patchouli is really good, you know, it depends on you, right? But for me, it's really grounding and earthy, and it helps me to come back to like center. Patchouli emotionally is the oil of physicality, so it's really good for like coming back down to center, like I mentioned. So that's one I really love as well. Okay, another oil we have in here is copaiba or copaiba. This, you guys know, is the oil that is compared to CBD often, okay, because it directly triggers it's the cannabinoid CB2 receptors, okay? So do a little quick Google search on doTERRA's copaiba if you want to know more information on that. It's pretty awesome. Basically, it's great for the nervous system. So if you're feeling over anxious or irritable or overwhelmed, which who doesn't feel like that sometimes when they're traveling with 3 kids, right? That's a really good one. And how I use it is I actually just put it right under my tongue. Same, okay? Couple drops right under the tongue. Tastes a little bit like smoky-ish. I super love this oil. So it doesn't have like a super strong aroma for me. So primarily that's how I use copaiba. If I'm feeling sore or achy, this is another great use for this because it's also great for like pain receptors. hence why I said the CB2 receptors, okay? So copaiba is one that I love to use as well. My kids get growing legs sometimes, and while we were on the trip, this little guy came in handy. I don't know if you guys snagged this up. I think in Canada and the States it's in the one of the wellness collections, right? That monthly, we're going to be talking about that actually in the library. I've got a couple posts lined up later in the month talking about the wellness collections, but this is pretty cool because it's a mini deep blue, but it has like little rollers on the bottom so that you can like just roll it right on without it having to be all in your hands and things. So deep blue rub is great for growing legs, right? Anything sore. I love using the lotion because it's a non-toxic lotion base, but it just feels so good and it works so well. So I actually add in a couple of drops of copaiba. So I'd apply the deep blue rub onto their legs or whatever, and then add in like a few different taps of copaiba on the legs as well and give them a good massage. So that came in handy on the trip as well. Next one I have here is grapefruit. Grapefruit is, well, it's a great oil. It's super uplifting and energizing. This is one that I like to add specifically into my drinking water. Okay, so in case you didn't know, here in Costa Rica, we can drink the water anywhere in the country. You can drink the tap water. So it's awesome. It's convenient. Most of the water is not chlorinated and things like that. Some of it definitely is. But in Mexico, we couldn't drink the tap water at all. We didn't even brush our teeth with it. So those of you that have been to Mexico, you know what I'm talking about. Most countries that you travel to, you can't drink the water. So in those cases, we were buying water, but it wasn't actually like in Canada or here in Costa Rica, you buy water and it's spring water, right? It's delicious, it's nice. I don't like the plastic aspect, but you do what you can. You buy the big bottles, etc., right? But in Mexico, it's all purified water. Like it's water that's been cleaned, right? So it has a weird kind of taste to it, and that was our only option, right? So I love to add citrus oils in when you're traveling into your water. Remember that you cannot drink, don't just drink the tap water and add your citrus oils in and think that it's gonna purify your water. It's not, okay? Maybe it does to some degree, who knows, right? Because they're antimicrobial, they're antiseptic, some of them, they're great, right? But I definitely don't suggest that, okay? Instead, if you have to buy water, purified water, whatever it is, add in your citrus oils into your water. It tastes amazing. It's gonna help you to drink a ton more water because it tastes so good, but it's great for your endocrine system. It's great for your lymphatic system in your body. That's like your gentle detox, right? And it makes you drink, like I said, a ton more water, which helps in itself as well to flush out toxins, to help with glowing skin and things like that. So that's one of our favorites right now of our citrus oils that we chose to bring. And grapefruit is also energetically known as the oil of self-love. So there's that too. Okay, what else did I bring? I've got a few more here to share with you guys. Another one that we burned through, pretty much almost gone, Balance. Balance is an incredible blend. All of you know about it. If you don't have this one, you definitely should look into it. So every day, this is what I do with my kids. I say wrists out, and they put their wrists out, and I come around with a couple little dabs, a couple little drops, and get them to rub their wrists together. Both of them have diffuser bracelets on their wrists. Sequoia tends to lose hers, but Macawi definitely does. And so they rub it on their wrists, and then they smell. And Balance helps to balance the nervous system. Okay, so if you've never done this, you should Google doTERRA Balance. What's it called? I think if you Google doTERRA Balance, a video should come up on YouTube by Justin Harrison, I think is the one that did it. One of doTERRA's master distributors, like one of the first people to work with doTERRA. He did this awesome test where they did a blood sample and looked at it under a microscope before touching Balance, before anything to do with Balance, okay? And the cells were just going crazy. It's so chaotic. And then they applied Balance to the bottom of the person's foot. 20 seconds later, they did another test, another blood test, and looked at it under the microscope, and it was a night and day difference. Okay, so I feel that, and when we put it on our skin, it absorbs so fast, right? The oils absorb extremely fast into our system and extremely fast into our cells in our body, right? Because they are an oil. Okay, so especially on the bottoms of the feet. So that's pretty sweet. I love using Balance just to set the tone of the day, just to help with heavy emotions, and we reapply throughout the day. Like I said, this is always in my bag, hence why it looks like this. I really need to get a new one, but here in Costa Rica, I can't find something like this. I need to get someone to make it, but I just have not got there yet. This one still serves well. But Balance is also another good one to put on your mask too. So let me know, you guys, if you love these oils too, and tell me your favorite uses for them. Okay, and then I've got a couple more here. Tea tree or melaleuca, your antiseptic. You need this one in your first aid kit in case somebody scrapes their knee. Like, I mean, we do what we can for our men, right? And like helping them to see the benefits of the oils, but we've got to give them a little bit of grace sometimes. Yesterday when Sequoia tripped and fell, I was not there. She scraped her whole elbow. It was pretty rough, right? I would have went and grabbed my tea tree right away and put it all over her, just dabbed it right on her cut there, right? Dabbed it all on there. Tea tree helps to clean the wound, right? It's an antiseptic. And then I would have done the same with lavender, okay? Andy, on the other hand, did not have a fancy oil bag like mine with him. They were out for a little walk and he did not bring ours. And so he went and got alcohol. Here in Costa Rica, well, you guys know there's sanitizing alcohol everywhere, but here in Costa Rica, they love their alcohol for cleaning things. So there you go. You can use tea tree to clean wounds and not have to put alcohol on them. All right, tea tree is also a very cleansing oil if you're someone who tends to absorb energy. If you're in a very a place where there's lots of people or something like that, that's something that I like to do as well, is use my tea tree to release stagnant energy. If you feel like you need to kind of move through something, that's a good one for that, okay? Another good one for emotions and energy is Terra Shield. I've also got that in there. Okay, there was not a lot of bugs in Mexico, surprisingly. I brought this just in case there was, but I also brought this because I love this oil pretty much every day for emotional support, okay? So Terra Shield is also known as the shielding blend or the repellent blend. Oh, hey, Shamim. So I love to use the Terra Shield. Oh, I love the smell of it. I love to just take a good smell of it. But I put a couple little dabs in my hand, rub my hands together, and I put it on my chest. Because I feel like when I'm in a busy place, or maybe even the kids are getting under my skin after traveling for 9 days and having very little routine, lots of late nights, those sorts of things, I put it on my chest, and I'm like, I am protecting my energy, I am protecting my emotions, I am balanced, I am centered, and I can come back to that place anytime, right? Even amongst the chaos, I can come back to that place. And so Terra Shield helps me to come back to my safe space, right? My sane space. So I just love it so much. I feel like I'm a true believer in following your intuition when it comes to using oils. So people that, ask, what's a good oil for emotional support, or where should I apply my oils? I really say follow your intuition. If you feel like here is an empowering place, apply them there. If you feel like your solar plexus is yours, do it, right? Anywhere, as long as you're just remembering the sun sensitivity, right? Just do not apply oils topically, especially in the summertime there in Canada. In the wintertime, you're all good. Like, you can bathe in wild orange if you want to in the winter. But here in Costa Rica, or if you live somewhere hot, don't apply oils topically if they're citrus oil, okay? Okay, and then the ultimate last one I have here is helichrysum. So helichrysum is like the arnica of oils. So I'm gonna bathe in some tea tree and Terra Shield. There we go, Erica. I feel like Terra Shield for me is more of a shield, and then tea tree is like a remover, right? Okay, helichrysum, it can actually stop bleeding. So this is one of my first aid oils that I carry with me all the time. Because of that reason, I have two small kids that are running around like crazies most of the time. Most of the time it's Sequoia that gets hurt. But helichrysum's like arnica, okay? So anything bruising, bleeding, hurt in a bad way like that, it's fantastic. I actually really like the smell. It smells quite medicinal if you've never smelt it before. It is one of the pricier oils, you guys, but the 5 ml bottle will last you so long because I am not diffusing helichrysum, right? This is strictly my first aid oil. It is also in my like sore tooth blend. If we have dental work done or someone has a toothache, I have it in there as well. But this, like if someone has a nosebleed, a split lip or something, you can literally just dab it on and it will help your body to clot, your blood to clot. Isn't that crazy? So helichrysum is an ultimate I would suggest putting in the first aid kit too if you have one. If you have helichrysum, if you don't have helichrysum, save up your points if you're scared about the price point. Save up your LRP points and grab that baby on your LRP for free. Okay, so I think that's all I have in that little container, you guys. That was a lot of information. I hope that you can come back and watch the replay and catch all the things. I have as well, like I mentioned before, the On Guard beadlets. We carry the peppermint beadlets because they're so useful. We took our vitamins, which I don't have my little vitamin case in here, but I always take the LLV with me everywhere I go, and I have a handy little case that I just refill every couple days and put it in my main bag, and then my big like bead case goes in my suitcase. Let me think. That's pretty much, yeah, that's the gist. Okay, so I think that majority of the time, this is something that comes with us everywhere, is this little thing here, and we use them all the time, every single day, and we just have them, I just have them with me in my purse, wherever we go. I have oils, in, like, when we need them, but also just preventatively, right? Like emotionally. What other ones did I have? Oh yeah, I didn't share, I have an adaptive roller, it's empty. And I also had a little oregano of this size, but in my other case, like I mentioned, because that's not one I use every single day, but when we need it, right? Like I told you about how Andy got a little bit under the weather a little bit there one day. He also put 2 drops of oregano and 2 drops of On Guard in a spoon of honey and took that a couple times a day as well. And I mean, I did it as well. You do what you have to do. We don't have veggie capsules at the moment, and in Costa Rica you can't buy them. And so we've been searching around at pharmacies everywhere, and apparently nobody has veggie capsules here, which boggles my mind. But anyway, I hope that was helpful, you guys. Have an awesome day wherever you are. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. I hope you have fun traveling. I hope you guys can travel soon. If you're feeling trapped in Canada, I hope you can make it to warmer, even hotter weather, but I hear it's really hot there. But yeah, I was so grateful to be able to go on a trip to Mexico, and it was Andy's first time on a plane. It was Azaalea's first time, so it really, yeah, it's really, so like, it's refreshing, right? So I hope you guys have the chance to do that again soon too. So thank you for listening, and have an awesome day wherever you are. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.